As day broke on August the 6th, the Marines received orders to go back in. Their goal was to cut off the insurgents in the cemetery from their stronghold near the mosque.
So our mission now was to cut the enemy from their resupply.
Martinez's platoon moved into the cemetery with another Marine company, the same men they'd fought beside the day before. They angled south and pushed toward the mosque. The insurgents outnumbered the Marines almost 2 to 1, and they held the high ground.
The cemetery sits low compared to the old city. So what you had happening is that insurgents would get on the rooftops of the old city with binoculars and cell phones, and they would basically give directions on where the Marines were.
Fighting was extremely close. Sometimes the enemy was only 10 to 15 meters away.
You got automatic and semi-automatic rifles engaging each other. That's a very short distance. That's what we call a knife fight almost.
Our sergeants and corporals had to continually keep a 360-degree awareness of the enemy around them.
We clear an area, and they come up behind us or off to our flank, forcing us to, constantly watch our back and watch our flanks, even though we were attacking forward.
The insurgents didn't let up. Gunfire was constant through the afternoon. Then suddenly, mass mortar fire began to pound the Marines' position.
One of the Marines spotted the mortar tube that the enemy was using to fire at us.
War, this is Brimstone, over.
Lieutenant Brashears requested an airstrike on the mortar position, but the mosque itself was still a protected exclusion zone.
War, this is Brimstone, over.
Once again, the Marines were handcuffed by the rules of engagement.
The mortar position they picked was right next to the mosque. So airstrikes and artillery strikes were not authorized to go after those guys. So we could see the enemy, couldn't kill him.
Even with these difficulties, the Marines secured half the cemetery by the evening of August the 6th. They decided to hold their positions through the night, despite incoming air and artillery strikes.
You never knew where the bombs were going to fall. You just hoped that you were in the right spot and weren't going to get hit.
By morning, they had been engaged continuously for 48 hours.
During those 48 hours, the platoon took 2 killed and a total of 7 wounded from gunshot wounds, shrapnel wounds, concussions, and heat exhaustion.
War, this is Brimstone, over.
Finally, at about 7 a.m., the U.S. Army's 1st Cavalry Division, 1st Battalion, 5th Regiment, arrived. Better armoured and fully loaded, they went in.
1-5 Cav specifically was in the cemetery, and elements of our Bravo company supported them on foot. 1-5 Cav would push in with their armor, Bradleys, and we'd fall in on foot, securing their flanks for the armored vehicles. The 72 tons of steel in our tanks, the rapid-fire cannons on our Bradleys, our larger number of dismounted soldiers in our infantry, and our ability to maintain combat power forward didn't let the enemy get out.
It was a tremendous show of force, and the tide began to turn. Sniper teams soon took control of the rooftops overlooking the mosque and cemetery.
In one day, they cleared the rooftops of the entire city. And we owned the rooftops after that.
That enabled us to basically pick up and keep pushing, and totally paralyzed the insurgents inside the old city.
A week into the battle, yet another ground force, the US Army's 1st Cavalry Division,